All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the game number 3 of the Philippines versus Vietnam fixture of the Southeast Asian League. Huge shoutouts to Nameless, who raided my stream. So you guys got tired, but it's important to rest. And I really appreciate you guys for being active onto the Starcraft community scene. So before we start this game, the shoutouts, Mr. Ryu, take it away.
Yeah, so speaking of Nameless, shoutouts to you for raiding us and as well for being the team captain from Singapore and for the other team captains, Neutrals from Malaysia, Justice Simon from Vietnam, and DLSMIZEL, our very own commissioner from the Philippines.
Alright, so to introduce our players onto the upper right corner of Eternal Empire LE, we've got the Blue Protoss fighting for Team Vietnam, AshenOne. And now, onto the bottom left corner, fighting for the Philippines, we've got the Red Terran, Phynix. So before we head in onto our game, huge shoutouts to Forbued, who is from Malaysia, who helped us place this. Yeah, who also rated us and placed this beautiful logos into the middle of the map. Huge shoutouts to you, Bude. So just to give a brief introduction, Phynix is one of the, I think he's the #1 Terran in the Philippines. And also part of the Southeast Asian Games pool. And yeah, the top Terran here in the Philippines. And also for AshenOne, not enough background, but according to our team trainings, that they usually see AshenOne on the top tier ladders. So good plays coming in from both of them. So being one of the top players for each of the respective countries. So huge shoutouts to you guys. So we'll see what would be the intro. What would be the opening here onto the side of both players. How about you, Mr. Ryu?
Actually,
what are you expecting?
Actually, AshenOne is one of the people who had a great journey. He actually defeated the Lord of Cinder, and yeah, it was a pretty big fight if you haven't seen it.
Boo.
Yeah, so I'm not sure if it's actually a reference, but in Dark Souls 3, the character that you're playing is referenced to as the AshenOne. And yeah, so right now another TVP on our way, which have been mostly exciting so far, since due to the nature of the Terran that you said earlier, they have this turtling gameplay.
Yeah.
So we usually see these huge armies, these battle cruisers, these Thors, the Autobots rolling out versus the Stalkers and the Colossus, and many more.
Well, I think Phynix really likes to play that mech playstyle. He is really one of the top users here in the Philippines who uses the mech playstyle. So we'll see on how AshenOne would react to this. Now, 2 gateways and a warp prism would be following it up. Maybe we can see some zealot drops happening since zealot charge is already halfway done. Now, the adept would be poking out once again a little bit here. The medevac already available onto the side of Phynix. Would maybe try and do some Widowmine drops. 2 Widowmine drops already coming up here onto the side of Phynix.
And yeah, I think it might be actually a zealot drop, like you said, since he's preparing more gateways. And if you look at his main base, there's only 1 worker on the assimilators. So heavy on the minerals.
Yeah.
It's only zealots that you can build using these.
AshenOne would go for a zealot all-in. I think at this moment, yeah, more zealots being warped in already. And I think AshenOne would drop it into the main base. So here comes the medevac of Phynix. We'll see on how he would deal damage onto the side of the Protoss player.
Yeah, the warp prism making its way slowly, checking for any missile turrets that the Terran might have, but no missile turrets or cyclone
Mm.
from Phoenix, so he might be caught by surprise as now the warp prism is dropping these zealots.
Yeah, good connections actually coming up onto the Widow Mines of Phoenix, but here comes the Zealot. Here comes the massive Zealot run by coming in onto the side of AshenOne. This is a huge, sizable amount of force, and he is hammering away onto those SCVs. The siege tanks is here ready to defend. The Ravens also dropping off that auto turret. So I think at this point, AshenOne might just pull out a victory here using the cheesiest strategy that we have ever seen in the Southeast Asian League as of yet. The SCVs has been pulled and they would be dropping off one by one, but still a massive marine force onto the side of Phoenix, but another warp in here happening onto the side of AshenOne, and this might be it. Good plays coming in from Team Vietnam, actually. Well played coming in onto the side of AshenOne, taking down Phynix. I don't see any way Phynix can come back from this. The Warp Prism is still alive, up and running. A little bit of Medivac micro, but we'll see on how can Phynix manage this one. And I think he would be overpowered at this point of the game. Too many zealots hammering away. So yeah, good plays coming in from AshenOne. A little bit of lacks of scouting onto the side of Phynix.
Yeah, no workers left on Phoenix, so game should be soon.
Yeah, game should be over soon at this point in time. So we'll see on how Philippines would follow up onto this one. What a play coming in from Team Vietnam.
Not giving up. Here in Philippines, tawag namin dyan, puso.
Puso. Well, you can't teach heart, you can't teach resiliency. I think, did you know that back in 2016, Filipinos is doubted as one of the most resilient countries, but enough is enough. Team Vietnam wins game number 3, so we are now at a 2-1 standing.